Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for another edition of NSR Wrestling, and we're going to hit on a topic that's a little bit controversial to a lot of fans. A lot of people just view it as a distraction. A lot of people feel that it's a legitimate athletic competition. We're going to be talking about female wrestling. I'm Peck.
I'm Chris.
So, let's start out with the notable difference between the two companies. In TNA, they're actually treated as wrestlers, where in WWE, they're described as divas.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, you could see who takes what seriously, but then, this all kind of started, I think, back in '07. They started really developing the TNA Women's Division, the Knockout Division, and it just ran from there. But then, as you could see over time, it's kind of dwindled, and now they're trying to bring it back, sort of.
Well, they sort of overexposed it, and then they
Yeah.
cut back on it. As soon as they got Bruce Pritchard, we were down to one segment or one match a night.
And they cut the tag team thing. I mean,
They actually made a joke about that on Impact last week.
Did they?
Eric Young ran into ODB at an ice bar, and she was like, "Hey, he's like, we're still those tag team champions, right? We haven't defended the belts in about 6 months, but no one's come to take them away from us, so we still have that."
I checked. It's been a year, actually. It's crazy. I don't know what they're going to do with
Well,
that.
neither one of them are going to know the exact dates. Their comedy skits are god-awful.
I don't know how those two have the job, but you can really tell TNA puts the time, they care, they really want to make a good effort to have a good product with the women's division. So, it's starting to take off. You can see things are happening.
And I saw
like it.
something at Slammiversary that I never thought that I would see, or it was really a radical departure that I haven't seen since ECW. A hardcore knockouts match
Oh, wow.
between Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell.
How was it? Because, Taryn Terrell's like a good actress.
It was a
She-
really, really good match. Gail Kim actually,
Puts effort.
there were two notable spots that I haven't even seen male wrestlers do and be able to pull off. Gail Kim went diving through the ropes. There was a steel chair between the ropes, and she smacked her head on it and fell right out of the ring. And the match ended when Taryn Terrell bulldogged her off of the stage, like jumped and fell about 6 feet into the the mat area by the barricades and whatnot, and then got to her feet before 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this was the sad part is it was the second best match on Slammiversary.
Isn't
Angle
it-
and Styles had the best match.
Yeah.
Taryn Terrell and her had the second best. I've never said that about a woman's match ever, even on the worst pay-per-view.
Well,
Well, that's because in WWE they don't wrestle.
like when Taryn Terrell came, I knew they were going to make a wrestler somehow, some way. It's kind of like Shane Sewell when he came in as a referee. But Taryn Terrell,
That was another waste of talent.
unfortunately. Taryn Terrell, when she came in, you could tell she had it. And then, like,
Oh, she had it alright.
yeah,
She
more
was
ways than one.
gorgeous.
Well, she, like, you can tell she's a good actress because she can show that emotion, she can show the anger, so that helps her as a wrestler, really
And
get
it
in
was
there.
a really innovative idea to have a female referee for a female wrestling match.
It hasn't been done for, like, a division in a long time, I don't think ever. Usually they have them once in a while as a
No, it
guest
was such a
referee, but
good
not,
idea.
not solid. They should keep that going somehow, someone else. I think it's a great division. I like it. I like what they're doing. I don't watch WWE, so I don't even know who's in it. Who cares, really? There's two
They're,
belts. Isn't there like a women's belt and then a diva belt or
No,
something?
no, there's only the Divas belt now, which is ridiculous.
Where'd the women's
because
belt
the women's
go?
champion was the more important one, and it
Exactly.
came along first. And
The
now they have
heritage.
this horrible butterfly pink, blue, and silver belt.
Oh, God. So where'd the other belt go? Did somebody just
It's
take it
gone.
home?
It
or-
got folded into the Divas title. It's like when RVD had the Super Intercontinental title, which was the European title and the Hardcore title folded into it.
What's interesting too? Like, look at WWE. Remember they had the 25 or 30 diva battle royal. You didn't even know who was in the match, and then people can throw it out left and right. And they had Santino Marella win. You can tell they don't give a crap about
And
division.
they've been using a lot of. It's a revolving door in WWE. You get about
Yeah.
you get about a 4 month run, and then you get passed over for somebody better looking or more interesting.
That's
Now,
true.
right now, their Divas champion is AJ Lee, who, I gotta be honest, I hear louder cheers for her than I do for a lot of their main eventers.
Where did she come from? Who is this AJ
She's
Lee?
from NXT, but as an actress and whatnot, she gets a reaction from the crowd. She's fun. She has a personality. She's not just.
She face heel.
She's heel, but she's
Yeah.
people love her. She's she actually showed like life. She didn't just come out in bikinis like Kelly, have absolutely no personality, and just be tits and ass. Like, she's a skinny girl, small ass, small breasts, but she's good looking. But she doesn't work too hard at it. She's not going to pose for Playboy or any of that. She's just a good wrestler.
Is Awesome Kong still there, or King Kong, whatever her name was?
I don't really know what they changed her name to, so I'm not sure. She was only there for a very short period of time.
It seems like she was another one, like a Mark Henry syndrome, getting hurt, pregnant, something like that, and just vanished.
They could be confused for siblings.
Yeah, it could be, man. I remember when Awesome Kong's like top fell off in the Battle Royal.
Oh god, thank God I wasn't there for that one.
Seeing that live.
My brother's still scarred by that. I think that's why we haven't been able to get him into wrestling as much, because he had to witness that.
That shows you the difference between TNA and WWE, though. Like, when they really put an effort to the women's division, they brought in that Awesome Kong. Like, that was something different. It was like, oh my god.
Although TNA, though, they don't let their wrestlers have as long of a shelf life either. You remember, what was her name? Was it
Taylor Wilde?
Yes.
She was great. I liked her. I thought she had a lot.
I did too. I didn't really like her face, but she was a really good wrestler.
Yeah, she was decent. She had a nice personality, and she got, fans were interested, but I guess she just couldn't do it.
Tag team with Rosita, and I'm like, well, I mean, it was okay for like a while, and then they stopped making those belts important.
Well, and then I think she just kind of vanished, I don't know if they just let her go or what, but
I don't know. They did that with a lot of people, though.
Yeah, people come and go in TNA, and then they come back, come around.
I heard they weren't able to pay Daphne's medical expenses when she did that spot with Abyss.
Something screwy happened there. She got hurt by that big one, that big lady.
Rosie Lotta. Yeah, she had internal injuries or something.
Yeah. But that's like with Conan and others, like TNA turns a blind eye to all them. But I don't know. I think the division's a good thing. I like it. I mean,
really, TNA is putting on like the length of women's matches that we haven't seen since Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
And that's, she had some good matches in her day in WWE, and they still have Mickie James and whatnot, so.
Yeah, they have to make you care about women's wrestling, and you think that men would be all into that, but it's weird, like, we're not into that, I guess. I mean, we are and we're not.
We're into looking at it, but we don't feel like it should take time away from the actual
Isn't that sad?
And feuds that we care about.
Yeah, it's just funny how that all turns
It's one of those things
around.
that it's more for the dads and the older brothers than it is, and slightly for the, the teenagers than it is for the actual wrestling fans.
Yeah. I mean, you could see, though, that women's division and women's wrestling in general was always like the second fiddle. I mean, even in WWE and WCW and ECW, they just kind of...
Even though wrestling is entertainment, that's how athletics are, period.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I hate women's sports, except women's wrestling. I won't watch the WNBA.
I didn't know it. Is it on?
Yeah, it's sadly on. But,
where? Like, that's the thing.
Oh, they put it on ESPN. That's the worst part. You want to try to watch a baseball game. They're like, oh, we got the WNBA game on tonight. It's like, yeah, I'm not watching this.
Can't miss it. It's
once their commissioner leaves, they're going to. That's probably going to fold because he's the only one that's been keeping them alive, and every single franchise has been losing money because no one goes to it.
Yeah, I mean, like
and no one watches it.
Where are the teams even?
They're all in the same major cities that
like New York
NBA
and all
teams
that.
are, but.
No one
there
cares.
are fewer of them, and no one cares. Their average attendance in a 17,000-seat arena is 7,000. So they're going to go bankrupt, thank God.
Good night.
I don't care about that. I don't care about women's softball. I don't care about any of that. But I do care about women's wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I think over time it's definitely evolved. But see, the problem is, like, there's never been, like, a solid, except for TNA, really a solid women's division. Like,
well, do you remember?
They come and go.
Do you remember the one promotion that was Wild Women of Wrestling? And
yeah.
They actually put on decent matches.
That's actually something to bring up, too. Like, the Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Wild Women's Wrestling. These things have life cycles. WrestleLicious is the newest thing.
Yeah.
But they never seem to last. Like, they'll be on for like a year, 2, 3, then they vanish. Then after a few more years, they come back.
I think there's a lot of pressure for a lot of those people to get offers and get folded into other promotions, too. I think
Exactly.
that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, if McMahon or TNA or Ring of Honor, someone comes sniffing around for talent, they're going to take them, and then they're gone.
Now, it does provide us, as much as we love great matches, you and I and Petrie, we all have a thing for some of the worst matches of all time, and we'll actively seek them out and attempt to sit through them. So you remember spots like, the Spider-Man and the contract sign.
Oh my God, Dory Funk's like training school.
Yeah, it was. I don't even remember their names. Something Rain.
Radiant Rain.
Radiant Rain and
against
another
somebody, and it was just hilarious. Please look this up on YouTube. Radiant
Rain. Are you
Rain.
that stupid? You have to sign right here. Bang! Ow!
I mean, it was just beautiful. And Radiant Rain probably smokes 3 packs a day.
No, was Radiant Rain the hot one, or was she the other one?
No, she was the old one from the 80s.
Oh, God.
That 80s
the old
haircut.
Southern Harlan County, Kentucky looking bad one.
Ouch.
I like the other one.
Yeah, the other one, I don't know. And that weird Spider-Man came in there. They actually had like 2 matches, I think, too. Not the Spider-Man thing, but the other.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you can get more than one appearance out of Spider-Man.
Oh, God. It's interesting, too, like women's wrestling, like China, she kind of
I don't.
start.
I honestly don't consider. I
She's
consider.
not a good
I consider
wrestler by
that
any means,
mixed
but
gender wrestling to me.
well, yeah, but she definitely brought the women's division, I guess, back in a way. But it was
There
more
was
for
nobody that was any legitimate competition there. I just
yeah, I
remember her
mean,
murdering everyone, and then
yeah,
Sable did the same thing for a while, but Sable at least did it in style.
yeah. I used to love how Sable was like, I hate WWE. I'm going, and she comes back and like, oh, 3 paycheck.
I miss Sunny. She was hot.
She's got issues,
I have an
man.
online friend that looks like her.
I have a friend too that looks like her, but like she doesn't have half the problems that Sunny
Well,
has.
no, I don't think anyone has even a quarter of the problems that Sunny has.
Man, I don't know, how people get like that and what happens, but things happen and it all goes south. That's why you got to keep your money.
WWE is always quick to trot out Mae Young for a stupid comedy bit, and I'm like, just let it go.
And she's still alive, man. She's like 90 something.
I don't know.
That was something too, like Fabulous Moolah. But she was like the women's champion just because there was no one around. Like, see, that's the problem. Like, women's wrestling has never had like a steady, like, okay, here's where they're at.
It's like when Andre the Giant went undefeated for 8 years
Yeah.
because there was no one to beat him.
It's like this hodgepodge. Like they bring the divisions in for a little bit and let it go. WCW would bring it back and forth for a while, a couple years in, out. Same with
After
WWE.
100
But,
plays, I could not tell you if there was ever another WCW Women's Champion. I don't remember it.
she was a champ. Yeah, she lost, I think, to like Luna Vachon or somebody. And then I don't know what happened.
I forgot about Luna Vachon.
There was like Mona. She was like that Molly Holly. She was in WCW for a while and wrestled people.
I like Molly Holly.
Then Medusa came back, but yeah, she was too. But that's the thing too. I think these ladies, they realize that there's not much that's gonna evolve from that unless they're like a manager or valet or they're involved in some other thing. Because after a while, you can only do so much in the women's division. Then what do you do next?
There's nothing. That's true. It's
Trish,
hard to get more than a 5-year career out of it.
It's like with Trish Stratus, she did all she could, and that was it. But she pretty much made WWE's women's division, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
In the 2000s, I guess.
Single-handedly. Well, not single-handedly. She had a lot of help from Lita and all those people. But
Victoria was always underrated, too, I think. She was decent. And she's still wrestling in TNA now.
Wrestler.
But it's just like, right time, right place, right look. Yeah, so, I mean, there's really not much to talk about the women's division because there's just not...
It just never got the notoriety that there's enough people that we can remember. I mean, it's always like, you remember that one match? Yeah.
And a lot of times in WWE, they would have it, and then it would go away. And then they would bring, like, managers and stuff, and they'd have their own little match or something. But, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel at the end of the 90s for, like, they were having, like, Jacqueline, a good women's wrestler, but then they have, like, what's her face? Deborah McMichael, and they throw a couple other of those girls in there.
Yeah, Stacey Keebler.
BB
as
and
much
all
as
them.
I like her, Stacey Keebler could not wrestle.
They weren't wrestlers. They were just more like fitness models or actresses and stuff, and cheerleaders. They weren't, built for that. So, but there really hasn't been like a lot of like second generation or second generation female wrestlers, except like Lacey Von Erich and
Oh, I miss Lacey.
She was nice. She had a good look and she was a decent wrestler. But I just don't know if I don't think she wanted to keep it going.
Well, she had a kid too. And that really screws everything up too.
Yeah, I guess to a degree. You want your family and your life like that. So, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty much women's wrestling. There's really not much to talk about. I mean, just Fabulous Moolah. She reigned for like 30 years or something. Wendy Richter, though, when she wrestled her, that was big in the 80s, and then it just kind of died out because she got screwed or something. That was it.
I mean, really, though, it's kind of like a non-entity because it's like, we don't necessarily feel like they should get more TV time, but we don't feel like they should get cut that much either.
Well, I think WWE should do a DVD on the history of women's wrestling just to give them a place in history. But
I guess, yeah, but it's just a question of how many people would actually buy it.
Yeah, is there like that many memorable moments?
I mean,
Not
they are
really.
coming out with the Mid-South one.
Are they?
With Junkyard Dog and then Roberts and I forget who else. Oh, DiBiase on the cover.
Because what made me mad? They had, speaking of Mid-South, they had Bill Watts. He had the website going, him and Eric. They were selling that whole library. And I was seeing it, like what I could buy. I'm like, oh my God, I can buy all this.
And then WWE bought all
Yes,
of it.
of course. As soon as I find it, like 12 days later, they said, like, you have 2 weeks to buy this and it's done. I'm like, why can't I don't have the money now? But I would have loved to purchase all that. I would have. I would have said my mind. I would have had the whole UWF library. But really, all I wanted to see of the UWF was like 84 to like 87. That's it. Because like Sting and all them were there. That's all I wanted to see. Everything else, So.
Isn't it sad it's 2013 and Sting is still wrestling?
Well, that, and you know what else is screwy? I don't think they have the whole AWA library. Because that's on ESPN still.
Yeah, it is.
And they don't have the UWF library, which I like to watch too.
True.
And they had Ken Patera and Billy Jack Haynes, which is for another day. But I'm just glad there's still some libraries that are free. Thank God. I'm Chris.
I'm Peck.
Good night.